Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really core topic for intimacy, beginner-friendly sex positions.
Yeah, think of it as a practical guide based on Mike Casanova's book, Sex Positions for Beginners. We're aiming to pull out some useful, interesting ideas.
Exactly. Whether you're, totally new to this or just curious about adding something fresh without getting overwhelmed, we've got you covered.
We're going to basically walk through the main categories from the book.
Right. We'll look at things like man on top, woman on top, from behind, sideways.
Sitting, kneeling, even standing positions. Just giving a flavor of the options.
It's all drawn from Sex Positions for Beginners, the ultimate book for couples with over 50 beginner sex positions by Mike Casanova, copyright 2019.
And, it's worth saying this is informational, maybe entertaining, but always good to consult other experts too.
Definitely. So Casanova starts by setting the scene a bit. He talks about how busy life gets.
Right, and how that connection with a partner can sometimes, fade a bit if you're not careful. You can feel distant.
And he really frames sex as a way to counteract that. Not just physical, but a way to strengthen the bond.
Ease stress, bring some joy back into the relationship. That's the core idea.
Yeah, the book highlights a few key benefits. Easing tension, stress relief, even some physical exercise.
Growing the relationship, fostering that closeness.
And the main takeaway seems to be trying new things keeps it exciting, keeps it, engaging for both people.
Okay, so should we dive into the first category, man on top?
Let's do it. And the book is pretty clear. This isn't about, dominance or anything.
No, it's framed as an equitable way to find pleasure, lots of opportunity for connection.
Yeah, like eye contact, which can be, really powerful.
And you're right there for kissing, touching, all very accessible.
So the first one, the absolute classic missionary.
Right. Described as maximizing satisfaction through really close body contact, face-to-face, bodies joined tightly.
Allows for that deep penetration, but also that emotional connection through looking at each other.
And kissing is super easy, obviously. Face, neck. It's all right there. The book even calls it an adventurous climbing.
Yeah. It's sort of that reliable foundation, Can be gentle, can be passionate.
Then there's a slight variation. The lying missionary.
Okay, how's that different?
So the woman lies flat, straight back, and the man lies face down right on top of her.
Ah, okay, so even more body contact.
Exactly. The book highlights the simplicity, but also the intense intimacy because you're pressed so close together.
Might take a moment for him to find the right angle, maybe. Needs a bit of guidance.
Possibly, yeah. But once you do, it amps up that body contact. Leads to what the book calls an extreme kissing experience.
And often deeper penetration because of that closeness, which can mean good clitoral stimulation, too.
Then there's the folded missionary.
Folded. How does that work?
Similar setup, but the woman pulls her knees up towards her chest. Her legs are folded.
Okay, so what does that do?
Well, that little change helps lift her hips.
Ah, right, which can lead to deeper vaginal penetration.
Precisely. And with the man still face down on top, the book mentions joyous treat of licking and sucking of body parts.
Okay. And it's good for beginners because of that depth and the ease of kissing and hugging still.
Makes sense. Then we've got the tucked missionary. Another tweak.
Tucked. Okay, what's tucking?
She still bends her knees, but this time her legs go outside the man's body, sort of towards her sides.
Oh, interesting. So her legs are out of the way more.
Kind of. And the book says this can actually be more comfortable for the man. Less leaning forward required.
Take some strain off him, yeah. And maybe allows for smoother, deeper entry.
That's the idea. Smoother, frictionless penetration. Plus, you get that clear view of each other's faces, encourages hugging, makes kissing easy.
Right. Okay, one more in this category. No, two more. Wrapped missionary.
Wrapped missionary, yes. She's on her back, and she wraps her legs right around the man's back.
So really pulling him in close.
Yeah, it intensifies that feeling of closeness and often encourages deeper penetration. The man is kneeling but lying face down on her.
Okay, so bodies are really pressed together. He can feel her breasts, kiss her upper body.
And she can tilt her pelvis, use her legs to kind of guide him.
Nice. And the last man on top is the kneeling missionary.
Kneeling missionary. Here, the man's legs are on the outside of the woman's legs.
Okay, so a different leg configuration again.
Right. And the book notes this angle might mean slightly less deep vaginal penetration compared to the others we just discussed.
Because of the angle. Yeah, maybe not using his full length as effectively.
Potentially. But,
yeah.
and this is the key point the book makes, The way the penis rubs against the inner vaginal lips
Mm-hmm.
can provide significant clitoral stimulation for her.
Ah, so it's a trade-off. Maybe less depth, but potentially more direct clitoral pleasure.
Exactly. Could be very satisfying for her.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift gears. Woman on top positions.
Let's do it. The book frames these as giving the woman, a bit more control, pace, depth.
But still enjoyable for both, obviously. And the man isn't just passive, right? He can still caress, kiss.
Oh, yeah. Hug, maybe a playful tap, depending on the dynamic. Plus, the book points out the man gets a great view.
True. Okay, first one. Lying cowgirl.
Lying cowgirl. So both lying down. Woman is face down on top of the man who's on his back.
Face down, okay.
Yeah. The book does say mobility might be a bit limited here.
Right, because he's underneath, maybe harder for him to get really deep thrusts in.
Possibly. But it creates high intimacy because of all the close rubbing during intercourse. And lots of kissing and licking is still possible.
The book suggests she might position herself a little higher to give him more room.
Yeah, to allow for gentle upward thrusts from him.
Okay. Then there's the closed cowgirl.
Closed cowgirl, man on his back, legs straight. Woman on top, but her legs are closed and inside his legs.
Ah, so creating a tighter space.
Exactly. The book emphasizes that tight connection and potentially strong clitoral stimulation because of it.
It says the man can use his hands on her bottom to help push her forward for deeper entry.
Well, she can wrap her arms around his neck for kissing. Penetration might be a bit shallower overall.
But the book also mentions potential for easy anal play here, if that's desired,
It does, yeah.
due to the positioning.
Okay. Next is rodeo.
Rodeo position. Man on his back, legs straight again. Woman sits on top, facing him, but she leans her upper body backward.
Leaning back, okay?
Yeah.
Feet flat on the bed.
Feet flat along his body, knees bent.
And this angle allows for,
The book says deep penetration, effective vaginally, and potentially deeper anally because of that angle.
and he can support her waist or buttocks. She uses her hands behind her for balance.
Right. Then there's the folded rodeo.
Okay, how does the folded part work here?
Man still on his back, straight legs. But now the woman is facing away from him.
Reverse cowgirl style, but leaning forward.
Exactly. Facing his feet, leaning forward, hands on his legs for support.
And this gives her control over the depth.
Yep, she controls the depth. And again, good opportunities for anal play. Plus, the man gets that visual. Gentle pushes on her buttocks can enhance it, the book says.
And the last woman on top here is the kneeling rodeo.
Kneeling rodeo. Okay, break it down.
Man lies on his back, but this time his knees are bent, pointing up.
Okay.
Woman sits on his abdomen, penis inside her. She's kneeling too, feet near his body. He gets a clear view of her back.
And the book highlights this for anal access.
Yeah, it mentions a really good angle for penis inclusion in the anal area, because it's right there, easy access.
She feels the penetration easily, lots of rubbing, potentially very pleasurable.
Sounds like it.
Okay, moving on. Sex positions from behind.
Right. The book introduces this category as offering often full exposure, potential for deeper penetration.
And often appealing to those interested in anal sex. Right?
That's mentioned, yeah. Plus, opportunities for kissing, licking the woman's body. The man gets a good view, choice of entry.
And it notes potentially fewer issues with premature ejaculation for some men in these positions.
Interesting.
It does mention that. So the first, maybe the most well-known, doggy style. The classic, woman on all fours, back maybe slightly arched.
Man approaches from behind, kneeling.
The book points out this can be good for women with a retroverted uterus.
Yes, the angle works well, apparently. Allows for deep penetration,
Yeah.
and he can feel that rubbing against the vaginal lips.
And the playful slap on the bottom is mentioned as an option too.
It is, if that's your thing.
Yeah.
Next is the closed doggy variation.
Closed doggy. Still on her knees, arms supporting, but her legs are together.
Legs accumulated between the man's legs.
Ah, okay. So it closes the vaginal opening slightly.
Right. The book suggests this can give a feeling of increased tightness, maybe initial resistance, and intense rubbing.
And deep penetration, vaginally or anally, can feel really intense here. He can use his hands on her thighs to encourage her back onto him more.
Then the rodeo doggy.
Rodeo doggy sounds energetic.
Described as more explorative and extravagant. Woman on all fours, but legs wide open outside the man's legs. Arms bent for support.
And the man leans back, supporting himself on his fists,
Yeah. The angle of penetration is right behind the vagina and anus.
allowing deep entry and intense clitoral stimulation from the rubbing.
That's what the book highlights. Increasing speed and intensity enhances it.
Okay, raised doggy. This involves Stairs.
Stairs, yeah.
Yeah.
For elevation. Woman is on the forward side of the stairs, facing away.
Got
She
it.
bends on her knees, bottom positioned right for him.
Gives him full access. Allows for very deep penetration.
And the book suggests intensifying it by him holding her shoulders to push her back, or even gently pulling her hair.
Kissing, licking, breast caressing also mentioned. Lots of options.
The supported doggy.
Often favored by men, creates a sense of dominance, the book says.
It notes that, yeah. Woman's on her knees, bending forward, resting her upper body on pillows under her breasts and abdomen.
Okay, so she's supported, and man leans on her back.
Leans on her back, kissing, licking it, maybe gently pulling her hair again.
And because her pelvis is in contact with him, good chance for deep penetration, vaginally or anally.
Right. Though it does mention if she has wider hips, it might slightly hinder full vaginal inclusion. Something to be aware of.
Good point. Okay, folded groundhog, different from kneeling doggy.
Yeah, this is lying down. Man lies horizontally over the woman's body, his legs apart on either side of hers.
Okay, and she's underneath, one leg folded, using elbows for support.
Correct. The book calls this more comfortable, increased intimacy, good range of movement.
Initial penetration might be tricky, because she can't move much.
A little tricky, potentially, but once established, it can go quite deep, vaginally or anally.
Interesting. Last one in this section, face down open groundhog.
This one apparently gives the man a strong sense of control. He lies on his legs, body raised over the woman.
And she's underneath, legs wide open.
Yeah. Allows for very deep penetration, good mobility, lots of intimacy. He can rest his body on her, use hands on her bottom.
Squeeze, gently slap. Option to penetrate either hole deeply.
Covers a lot of bases that way.
Definitely. Okay, shall we move to sideways sex positions?
Let's do it. The book explains these might not be for, like, super fast, energetic movements.
Right, but they allow for close body contact and potentially a curved path for the penis.
Yeah, which can be very pleasurable. Sometimes a pillow under her hips helps with angle and depth.
And often strong clitoral stimulation because the penis rubs against the vaginal lips or around the anal opening.
Exactly. First up, twisted closed missionary.
Okay, so a variation on missionary but sideways.
Kind of. Woman turns onto her side, supports herself. Man is on top, but more sideways oriented.
Book says maybe not the deepest penetration.
Potentially not, but lots of kissing, licking creates a lively, intimate feel. The curved angle can mean strong clitoral stimulation and rubbing.
Makes sense. Kneeling scissors. Popular sideways one, it says.
Kneeling scissors. Woman lies on her back, one leg folded up.
Okay.
Man is turned sideways on her. Kneeling position, legs folded back. He holds her raised leg, creating that scissor shape.
Ah, I can picture that. Pillow under her buttocks can help.
Yeah, for a slight lift. Makes deeper penetration easier potentially, and increases that rubbing against the vaginal lips for clitoral stimulation.
Good tip. Then the spoon position, a classic sideways choice.
Definitely. Both partners on their sides, legs folded, spooning, easy, comfortable.
Man enters from behind. She can feel him inside both vagina and anus.
Potentially, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's more active, can use hands to caress her breasts, pull her closer. Gentle penetration, very intimate, emotional.
Great for relaxed, sensual vibe.
Totally. Then there's the lazy spoon.
Lazy spoon, huh? More relaxed than regular spooning.
Apparently. Man bends his body sideways, like a spoon shape, knees bent to make space. Woman fits into his lap, also sideways, legs folded.
Okay, so she's nestled in his lap.
Yeah. Book says this often gives him easy access to her clitoris, might reduce resistance to deeper penetration.
He can kiss her back, neck, gentle tap option again. Penetration tends to be slower, maybe that deflowering-like tightness sensation.
That's the description used, yeah. Gradual, tight feeling.
Interesting. Wrap spoon.
Wrapped spoon. Woman lies sideways, wraps her legs around her partner's legs, kind of locking them together.
Increases intimacy, maybe deeper penetration as she squeezes.
That's the idea. She can adjust her legs for better clitoral access too. Plus the usual kissing, exploring with hands.
Okay. Bent spoon.
Bed spoon. Another sideways variation. Woman lies on her side, kind of like doggy style but sideways, pelvis in his lap. She leans forward.
He can access her breasts and lips.
Yeah. And if she wraps her legs around him and squeezes her hips, it encourages deeper penetration, offers better mobility, different angles.
So potentially faster, deeper sensations here compared to other spooning variations.
Could be. Lastly, for sideways, twisted spoon.
Twisted spoon. Man lies sideways, gently pushes towards her pelvis. She feels the penis.
Yeah, she lies sideways, pelvis toward his penis. It's focused on sensational rubbing and clitoral stimulation.
He can use hands on her hips or back to pull her closer, Maybe get deeper penetration with more force?
Potentially, yes. Might feel awkward initially, the book warns, but can lead to high satisfaction through that intense rubbing.
Right, requires a bit of coordination, perhaps.
Seems like it.
Okay, next category. Sitting sex positions.
Right. These usually involve the male partner sitting, female partner on his lap, lots of body exposure, potential for intense experiences.
Penetration can be straight with rubbing or more curved depending on the angle and weight distribution.
And kissing, caressing, especially breasts, is usually very easy.
First one, kneeling lotus.
Kneeling lotus. Man sits cross-legged, woman sits on his lap facing him, legs folded backward.
Face-to-face intimacy, potential for faster movement.
Yeah. Man leaning back slightly, her hands on his shoulders. Great setup for intense kissing, licking. Faster pace recommended here.
Okay, sitting bull.
Sitting bull. Woman sits beside her partner on the floor, allowing him vaginal access. Comfortable, but maybe limited movement range.
Face-to-face again, so kissing, licking, breast caressing is natural. She leans back, uses arms and legs to control depth.
Yep. Increasing intensity leads to stronger clitoral stimulation.
Got it. Squatting bull.
Squatting bull. Woman squats on the man's lap while he sits with legs straight out. Face-to-face, easy kissing, etc.
Buck says many women find this comfy, can hold the squat.
Apparently. Man can lift his hips slightly for deeper penetration, faster movements, potential for quicker, intense orgasms for her.
Okay, planted bull.
Planted bull. Woman's feet are on the floor while sitting on his lap. Offers good mobility.
Allows access to both vagina and anus.
Yes. She controls movement by pushing off the floor, pulling back using his thighs. Full body exposure. Good for kissing, caressing. Pillows suggested for comfort.
Good tip. Lying bull.
Lying bull. Man sits on the floor. Woman is on her knees, leaning fully forward, arms stretched overhead, legs resting on his legs.
Ah, okay. So he gets a full view as he penetrates. Vaginally or anally, often curved.
Right. He can caress or gently slap her bottom, appealing for men who enjoy watching the penetration.
Makes sense. Lap dance position.
Lap dance. Woman's legs inside the man's as she sits on his lap. Offers controlled penetration.
But can get deeper with a gentle push from him.
Exactly. Book mentions potential for deep anal penetration here, which can be enjoyable. Might put some strain on her legs, though.
Something to keep in mind. Lap dance 180.
Similar, but she turns to face him while sitting on his lap.
Ah, okay. Face to face, arm around the neck intimacy, easy for him to caress breasts, kiss, push her forward for depth.
Good access for both holes, though vaginal might feel more frictionless. Sturdy chair recommended.
Safety first. Squatting lap dance.
Women squats on the same surface the man is sitting on. Again, stable chair with armrests suggested. Lots of body contact, kissing, caressing.
Vaginal openings right above the penis, so frictionless penetration, controlled depth by her.
Seems straightforward. Finally, folded lap dance.
Folded lap dance. Woman sits on his lap, legs folded and placed on his shoulders.
Okay, exposes her front side, breasts. Easy to kiss.
Deep vaginal penetration possible. Anal might be trickier due to the angle.
Potentially. But if she leans backward on her hands, the book says it can create anal gaping and allow deeper anal access.
Interesting mechanics there. Okay, almost there. Kneeling sex positions.
Right. These often bring partners closer, allow good control over depth, offer unique sensations. Book emphasizes exploring openings is key.
The saint position.
Saint. Man kneels backward. Woman lies with her back on the floor, lower body on his lap, knees bent upward. Access to both holes.
Face-to-face allows kissing, caressing, breast play. Maybe not super fast thrust, but deeper penetration with hip movement is possible.
Yeah, when he could assist with his hands. Then, kneeling saint.
Kneeling saint. Both partners kneeling. Woman sits on man's lap, hugging, kissing. He hugs her back, can caress breasts.
Vaginal opening, well positioned for easy, often curvy penetration. Good rubbing, stimulation. Deep anal trickier, but friction can still be pleasurable.
Breast guard.
Press guard. Woman presses her knees onto the man's chest. He's sitting on his knees, lifts her hips with his hands. Easy access to both openings.
Allows deep, straight penetration, more intense approach. She controls depth with knee pressure.
That's the description. Then bent guard.
Bent guard. Woman lies on back, hips lifted onto his lap, feet on his chest, knees bent. Man kneeling, leaning forward, eye contact, good angles for easy entry, vaginal or anal. He can use force to tighten her legs, gently slap bottom, deep anal, good vaginal stimulation possible.
Sounds intense. Folded guard. Folded guard. Woman lies on floor, shoulders and hips lifted by the man, hands under buttocks, legs on his shoulders. Good mobility skin to skin.
Openings right there for him. Deep, fast penetration possible, vaginal or anal. Anal can be particularly sensational, book says.
Okay. Bed candle. Bed candle. Woman lies flat back, legs straight up. Man kneels, legs folded, holding her legs for support.
Allows deep penetration, straight and curved angles, vagina and anus, both control pace.
Seems versatile. Folded candle. Folded candle. Similar, but her legs are slightly bent towards her abdomen. Man kneels behind, holding buttocks, thighs, pulling her closer for deep vaginal penetration. Lifted pelvis makes anal easier. Good clitoral stimulation.
Tilted candle.
Tilted candle. Her lower body lifted, legs to one side of the man, gives him more room for deeper vaginal thrusts. Tilting helps depth.
Right, adjusting the angle. Finally, split kneeling.
Split kneeling. Both partners stand on one knee, holding each other. Man pushes forward for deep vaginal penetration. Good clitoral stimulation. Anal might be difficult.
Okay, last category, standing sex positions.
The adventurous, spontaneous ones. Full body exposure, good for couples reconnecting, feeling strong emotions.
The dancer.
Dancer. Partners stand side by side. Man holds her buttocks, pulls her towards him. She wraps arms around his shoulders.
Height difference matters here. Allows curved vaginal penetration, good clitoral stimulation, more force, deeper strokes, potential orgasm.
Support split bodyguard.
Mm.
Woman stands facing away, leans forward against a wall for support, hips pushed out, like standing doggy style. Man penetrates deeply.
Start gently, increase intensity. Lean forward position gives access to both holes.
Supported standing doggy. Woman stands, knees slightly bent forward. Man behind, knees bent to adjust angle, holding her thighs buttocks for deeper penetration.
Uck calls Dargy style globally popular. This version allows full vaginal inclusion, potential anal access with energetic movement.
Standing cross candle, or tilted candle. Woman lies on back, folded legs crossed, resting on man's shoulders as he stands holding her legs.
Exposes her body. Kissing, caressing, clitoral play. Openings angled well for deep penetration without much force needed.
Standing missionary. Woman lies back on table bed, legs wrapped around man's pelvis. He stands, penetrates deeply.
He can caress breasts, thrust deeply, potentially reach cervix for intense sensation.
Standing tilted missionary. Similar, but her shoulders are on the surface. Man lifts her body with hands under buttocks, legs on his shoulders. Unobstructed access for deep penetration.
Needs coordination first, maybe, but allows deep thrusts, gentle tapping on bottom.
To me, it's plausible. Last one. Standing wrap missionary.
Woman sits on table, leans forward, hands for support, legs wrapped around man's back. He stands, penetrates deeply.
Allows more forceful thrusts. She presents openings, licking possible. Easy access to breasts for kissing, caressing. Double the pleasure, potentially.
Wow. Well, that was quite a comprehensive journey through the beginner positions from Casanova's book.
It really covers a lot of ground, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Different categories, lots of variations within them.
And the core message, like you said, is about strengthening that relationship through, a varied and fulfilling sex life.
Exactly. Being open to trying things, finding what works for both partners, what brings joy and connection.
So for everyone listening, maybe just, take a moment. Think about how these descriptions might resonate with your own experiences or desires. Did anything spark an idea?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Thinking about all those options.
Mm.
Is there one that stands out as like the most surprising or maybe intriguing to explore further? And why that specific one?
That's a great question to leave people with. What catches your eye and why?
And who knows, maybe down the line we'll need to tackle some of the more advanced techniques the book hints at.
Could be. Well, thanks for joining us for this exploration on the deep dive.